Hi, my name is Jonathan, welcome back to the channel, and in this video I'm going to be checking out my emergency hiking pack. So this is the pack I like to have with me when I'm on a long walk or a hike. I want to travel light, but I also want to deal with any unforeseen circumstances along the way. So let's have a look at the contents. The first thing to note is this power bank. Now this is an Anker power bank. It's 5,000 milliamp hour, so it's not huge in capacity, but it is perfect for an emergency. And the idea with this is to be able to charge your phone. So the capacity is not huge, but it will allow me to charge my phone at least once. And that's really what it's for. It's to be able to ensure that I can use my phone if the battery in the phone becomes exhausted. And the phone, let's face it, is one of the most important tools to have with you on a walk. It can obviously help you navigate. You can make a call in an emergency. So this is probably the most important item in the pack. What else do we have in here? Well, we have a torch. Obviously, if you're stranded at night, you don't want to use the light on your phone, so it's important to have a torch with you. The one I've selected is a AAA torch, so it uses a normal AAA battery. It's the Olight i3T. And it's very simple to use and it's very reliable. So it's got a tail switch, you press it once and it comes on at a low setting, and you press it again and it comes on at a high setting. You can click to keep the light on, or you can do a momentary press. So it's simple to use and it's very reliable, and it doesn't require charging. So perfect as an emergency torch. On the low setting, which is 5 lumens, it will last for around 16 hours. So that's great. So with the spare battery, you got effectively 32 hours of illumination, albeit at a low level. If you want the maximum power on the higher setting, it's 180 lumens, and that is said to last 21 minutes. I also, because it's very compact and very useful, carry some Gorilla Tape, just folded up there for emergencies. And I also carry a whistle, and I think this should be something everyone carries. This is a great way to call for help and to help people find you, particularly if your phone battery and your power bank has been exhausted, and is a lot more effective than shouting. And the higher pitch of a whistle travels much further. So I would always recommend carrying a whistle. In addition, we have a notepad and pen. This is a very compact write in the rain notepad that I got from Amazon in the US. So the paper is waterproof, and I've got a Fisher Space Pen here. This is the version that extends to full size simply by pressing it. Any Fisher Space Pen would do. They're not particularly expensive, but as you probably know, the benefit is it uses a pressurized refill, so will write in damp or wet conditions, and also if you write in at an angle, the ink won't stop. So a pen and pad is useful for noting things down, obviously, or leaving messages. We need to have a knife with us, and my choice here is the Victorinox Farmer Alox. The Alox Victorinox knives are heavier duty, so the knife blade is thicker and stronger, so it can cope with more. We have a blade, we have a can opener, which is very effective. It has a sharp edge on it. It's also a screwdriver. We also have a large screwdriver and cap lifter and wire stripper, but it's very good as a pry tool when out and about. There is also an awl, again very practical, and it's got quite a sharp edge on it. And then probably one of the most important tools, and the reason for picking this particular tool, is this saw blade. It's very effective, the Victorinox saw blades. And the idea there is if you are trying to start a fire, which is possibly one of the things you want to do quite quickly if you find yourself stranded and unable to get home, then you're going to want to cut up some wood. This saw is the sort of perfect lightweight option. There is a version which is the Farmer X, which includes the scissors, which is also a really good option. It creates another layer, so it adds to some thickness, and this is very packed out, this pack, and it might not fit for me. But what I do have, because I do value scissors, so I'm carrying a Leatherman Style PS, which you might be familiar with. Lightweight multi-tool. We've got a blade and we've got a screwdriver, but the real benefit for me is a usable pair of scissors. I'm pretty lost without scissors, and because I don't have them on this particular Victorinox, then I like to carry them separately. In addition, I also have a means of starting a fire, which is really important. Now, the temptation is to take a big lighter, for example, or matches, but they are not 100% reliable. With a lighter, you can often run out of fuel, or it can be slightly depressed and the gas leaks out. So that is a reliability issue. And with matches, there's a danger they could get damp or damaged, or you lose the striker. And when you do light a match, it only has very limited burn time and may not be sufficient to get a fire going. This, I think, is a perfect option. It based on reliable and creating a flame with a really long burn time. So what we have is two items. We have this tin, which is called LiveFire. Now, in LiveFire, you have this wax impregnated material, which is effectively very long lasting kindling. So you basically scrape off a layer with your knife and then you light it with this Ferrorod. And the great thing about this is you can increase the surface area and therefore increase the flame. So if you've got it very closed, you get a small flame which lasts for a really long time. Or you can increase the size of the flame, which obviously uses the material more quickly. And it's a great way to start a fire, particularly if the kindling or tinder is a little bit damp when you're trying to get the fire going. And this takes a spark really well. So there's lots of videos on YouTube showing LiveFire in action. It's a great lightweight, compact product, and you can get a flame going for a long time, unlike a lighter or matches. Now, the Ferrorod I've chosen is called the Exotac XL, even though it's extremely small. And the way it works is it unscrews to produce a Ferrorod, and then the other end unscrews to produce a striker, and it works really well. In addition, the Victorinox Farmer saw blade has a sharp edge on the back, and that is extremely good as a striker for any Ferrorod, including this one. So this combination of compact Ferrorod and LiveFire tinder stroke kindling is the perfect solution in terms of lightweight, compact, reliable, that's the key, and creates a flame that will last several hours. Then we also have something which is fairly bespoke to me, and that is these compact glasses. If I lose my glasses, I'm in real trouble. For a start, I can't see a phone or a map. So these are from a company called Thin Optics in America. They're very thin, lightweight, and they simply fasten onto the nose. Not necessarily a fashion statement, but they do work really well and perfect for an emergency. So I keep those with me in case my glasses get lost or broken, then I have a backup. In addition, in here I have some cash in case I don't have access to cards, and a very basic first aid. It's not even a kit really. It consists of some alcohol wipes to clean a small wound and some band-aids or plasters. Not a lot more really. The idea is if you have a cut or a nick or a blister or whatever, you can do something about it. But we're traveling light, so we don't really have the ability with this pack to carry a large first aid kit. I would say if I'm on a more involved hike or I've got other people with me, I tend to carry a proper first aid kit, and I will run through the contents of that in another video. And then we have one more item in here, which is this. So this is a selection of small items in a small see-through pouch, which stops them all getting lost and rattling about. And what we've got in here is a very small short cable for charging the phone using the power bank. So it's short and lightweight and compact. It's got a lightning on one end, USB-A on the other. Doesn't need to be long, it's for emergencies. There's also just a few meds in a little pouch there. And what we have is some painkillers, some antihistamine for allergic reactions. Sometimes I am allergic to tree sap, and if I get that on my hands and touch my face, then that can cause real problems. Very importantly, a basic compass. If your phone dies and you are struggling to know where you are, this will at least keep you going in the same direction, and hopefully the right direction. Then we also have a couple of safety pins. They're very useful for all sorts of things. I'm not suggesting we're going fishing with them. They're more around repairing clothing, keeping things fastened, holding things together. A spare battery for the torch. So we're not thinking about charging it, but we would want a backup battery for it. In addition to that, we also have these tweezers. You may have seen them before, American made, high quality, compact, really good precision on these, and they are silver gripper, made in the US. And the great thing about these, they're very compact, very lightweight, but extremely effective. So I would recommend these tweezers. Obviously splinters and that kind of thing, potentially useful if you use it with care for getting ticks out as well. And then finally in here we have some thin, lightweight, compact cordage. So I've not put in paracord. This is actually a very thin paracord, very strong, and it's always useful to have something like this with you where you can repair things, tie things up, carry things. So I won't be without a little bit of cord with me. And that pretty much makes up the pack. Now, if you're interested in what this pack is, as you might have spotted, it's a Maxpedition. It's called a TC-5. I would highly recommend it because it's, as we know with Maxpedition, they're extremely strong and well made. There is a very strong belt loop on the back, and it also has some molly webbing capability, and also some additional loops there if you want to fasten it to some form of strap. Torch goes on the side in an elasticated loop, and this round pocket on the sides is absolutely perfect for carrying the Anker battery bank. And this, as I said before, is probably the most important emergency addition to have with you. Extra power for your phone, so you can make that emergency call, you can navigate your way out of a situation. So the idea is, if I'm going on a long walk, I can grab that, and I don't need to have anything else with me. As long as I've got this with me, it will allow me to cope with most situations, and there's a lot of reassurance that comes from just carrying something like this. And I will put it in my backpack if I'm carrying a backpack. If I'm not, it will be on my belt. And as I say, if I'm going on particularly a longer walk or more arduous walk, or I've got other people with me and I'm carrying more, then I will carry a dedicated first aid pack. And I do have an additional pack that extends the capability of what this can offer, adds weight and requires more space, and that will go in a backpack, and I will showcase that in a later video. So I hope that was useful. I'd be really interested to know if there is something missing from this pack in your view, or whether you would want to swap out some of the items for others. Let me know in the comments. I'd be really interested to know. Please subscribe if you like this type of content. It really helps the channel. And as always, thank you for watching.